All right, welcome to the lesson about blueprints. You've heard about them, right? So let's just get into it. All right, so blueprint is a complete gameplay scripting system. And by saying complete, I mean it because this character is actually a blueprint. So let's click here, edit. So we have this as a separate window. If you want, you can drag and drop this window right here next to the level window. So let's take a look. Right now, you see the event graph. You can zoom in and out with your mouse wheel. Use your right mouse button to move around, just like this. So we have these three windows here: event graph, construction script, and viewport. Let's start with the viewport. You can see that kind of similar to the editor, to the mesh editor that we used in the previous lessons. This window where you can view and manipulate your blueprint's components. So for example, you can select the capsule component. You can see that the component is selected here. If you select camera, the camera is selected. Here you can see the details for the component that you selected. Now let's go back to the event graph. So again, zoom in and out with your mouse wheel or right click to move around. The event graph contains a node graph that uses events and function calls to perform actions in response to gameplay events. A graph is a network of nodes. Every element, like this, it's called node. So all these are different nodes. And everything that happens in the event graph happens only at runtime. So if you change something in the scene while game is not playing, you won't see any changes. Only when you run the game, you'll see them. Okay? And with the construction script, you will see the changes because the construction script is executed when the object is initiated in the engine. It doesn't sound very easy, but let's take a look at what we have here. So this blueprint already has a few nodes, and every node is connected somehow. And these connections perform some actions in the game, right? For example, if you take a look at this movement, input, gamepad, and mouse node graphs, you can see that it starts with the input move forward. Then this is function, add movement input. And then to it goes to get forward vector and get control rotation. I don't expect you to understand how it works right now. It's just your first look at these nodes, okay? So this sign, this F, that means function. So we can understand that these three nodes are functions. Then, for example, here, jump. So this node graph manages jumps. So if the jump key is pressed, then jump. If released, stop jumping. Inside this node, we have the function jump. Inside this one, stop jumping. You can see that we have this simulating. If you go back to your level and click stop, then come back to the event graph, and the text disappeared. Again, let's play. Go back and you see we have this yellow frame and big yellow word simulating. Let's go back, click stop. All right. You remember I said that everything that happens in the event graph happen only at runtime, and you will not see any changes when your game is not being played. So for example, now when the game is we're not in the playing mode, we don't see the character at all. Only when the game is played, only then we can see the character, and we can see how everything works here. You also can use these buttons here for the simulation. And if you accidentally closed your event graph, how to open it? You go here, event graph, and double click to open it. And construction script as well. Okay. If you need to select a few nodes together, you can just use your left mouse button like this. When you select a few nodes, you can usually just drag them together. But since this is one group of nodes, we can just drag it around like this. Now let's take a look here. So we have the event graph construction script, and here is variables. Probably you know what variables are, but if not, variables are properties that hold a value. And there are a lot of different types of variables. For example, let's click plus to create a new variable. We can give it a name. I'm just going to give it the test var variable name. And next to the name, you can see the type of the variable. You also can see this type here on the details panel. So as I mentioned, variables have a lot of different types. Let's click here. For example, what Boolean type means, it means yes or no. So there are a lot of type of variables, and in Unreal Engine, each type has its own color. So for example, Boolean is true or false. Float is a float number, meaning something like this with a point. We also have the integer, and it means whole number, like 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 25. It's just whole number, no decimal, and other types. For example, we have the string type. It's a text string. For example, let's do like this. When the play begins, we see a string on the screen. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add an event. Right click, and you can see all actions for this blueprint. So I'm gonna add event. I'm gonna find something that is close to begin play. You can do like this, like try to find. Oh, okay, here it is, event begin play. Or you can type here, begin, and it will show you everything that it has. Okay, so event begin play is here. Now don't forget to change the type to the string, like this. Next, we're gonna need to print string. Okay, you can see this is function, print string. So let's connect it like this. Okay, and if you want to connect two nodes together, you see it's very simple. If you want to disconnect them, Alt and left click. Connect, disconnect. Not all nodes can be connected together, but if they can be connected, you can see this green check mark. Then we need the variable. We're gonna drag and drop it to this blueprint like this, and it will always ask you, do you want to get it or you want to set the variable? In this case, I need to set my variable. And here we can see the text of the string. So let's put something like and if you click here, you can see more options for this function, like this. Also, very good thing that you can hover it like this and read description of a function. Prints a string to the log and optionally to the screen. It's development on this, so it's actually just for you to check if everything works. So it says print to screen and checked. Print to log, checked. Text color. Let's change it to red. Okay. Duration. This is how many seconds we will see the text. So I'm gonna put 10. Okay. Let's click compile and then save. Okay, now go back to the game, click play. Okay, and here is the string. 10 seconds, it should be here, and then after that, just go away. Yeah, all right, good. Stop. And that's how Blueprint works. You see, we started with the event, begin play. We found this event in this endless list of different events. There are a lot of different events here. Then we found the function that will print the string, and then we set the variable with this function. So just like this, using different variables and functions and events, you're gonna create a logic for your game. Instead of writing a code, you'll be creating nodes and connect them together. Just like this. You see, we connected them. And I know it might look scary, but just think about it. This system allows us to program without knowing C++. And learning C++ is way more difficult, believe me. In this course, your goal is to understand how essential elements of Unreal Engine 5 works. So let's go ahead and talk about node groups in the next lesson.